The following program is made possible with the support of
Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to year 15 of Sports Roundtable. Once again, this year, we'll take a look at all four of our area high schools, New Hanover, Laney, Ashley, and Hoggard, and take you inside each football program. And a lot of new faces, a lot of fresh starts this year, but we'll start with the old reliable. I guess the emphasis was on old Kevin Motzinger alongside from New Hanover. And you open on the road.
Yes.
You go up against a very good team down in South Carolina, and it's your opener. It's their second game.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of could see the difference.
Well, the biggest thing I've told everybody, I know how good they were and how bad we played, and for us to do what we did shows me and gets me excited of how good of a football team we have. South Florence preseason's predicted to win their 4A classification. They should have won it last year, and they got 9 starters back on offense and 8 starters back on defense. Like I told their coach, the wrong kids graduated. But our kids played hard. We just at times didn't play smart. A lot of times the lights got to us, those first game jitters and all the nerves that go with it. But our kids played hard.
Okay, let's take a look at some highlights then. Saturday night game, and you played the Jamboree, but a big difference from Jamboree to real football.
That's right. Well, the thing I love about it is it prepares you for a state championship. It's a Saturday night, and you don't know when you're going to get on the field. You don't know as far as how much time you're going to have in pregame and a lot of that stuff. And I think that messed with our kids a little bit and our coaches. But it's a great practice. Right there, Javon Batts, good long run. And he's getting Malachi Mosley starting to run back, and Javon's starting to get in the swing of things and getting some carries. Our defense got a 3 and out. We didn't have many of those. Right there, Blake Camardi on the kickoff and on their return. You look at them and you look at us, we look like a bunch of middle midgets out there playing against them. They are very large and very fast, and Coach Fuller made this highlight film, and it's amazing how good you look when you watch a highlight film, but watching the whole game, it didn't look that pretty.
Take a look at the whole game. Obviously, they score early on every possession.
Yes.
Thing to stabilize a little bit in the second half?
Once we settle down, they make Oregon look slow. They had in the first quarter 3 penalties because they snapped the ball before the whistle had set, and they called us on the first 2 touchdowns. We weren't even lined up right. We had guys still getting out of the pile, and that's something, when you go to another person's house and also when you go to another state, you've got to be able to handle that adversity and go on. A little bit early, I think our kids got a little bit frustrated with that, felt like that, we were kind of being done wrong, but that's part of the game, So we finally caught up with the speed. Once we got lined up, we did extremely well. We had 3 red zone stops, and we've got some 3 and outs. We started putting a lot more pressure on the quarterback, and after that we settled down. We were at halftime, it was 23-10. We felt like it should have been 23-17. We got inside the 5, didn't score, and then we get the ball to start the second half. We march at 82 yards, and we don't score. We go for it on 4th down, 4th and 6, and right then, I think that was the difference in the game. I think our kids kind of lost a little bit of wind, but we played for 4 quarters, played hard. Great experience for our kids, preparing them going into a very hostile environment, having to load up travel with a lot of uncertainties, and I think that's important. The biggest thing for us is to give our kids that opportunity to be on that stage. The recruiting services that were there, the scouts that were there, I mean, it could be a great thing or it could be a terrible thing. If you play well, my phone's beat off the hook all week for certain kids, but other kids, it could be good or bad.
Talk a little bit about, now you have Wilson Hunt at home.
Yes, sir.
Just the philosophy of how you schedule non-conference, because I know sometimes you don't have control of it.
Yep.
But I mean, obviously, you're trying to really see what they're made of early.
Honestly, we're at a point we'll play anybody anywhere. We just need games.
Is it getting tougher and tougher?
Oh, it's right now. I still need 2 games for the next 2 years. The way we've played and we feel like we've been a top 5 team in the East in small 4A for the last 4 years, and so a lot of folks, don't want to play that. Then the travel into Wilmington,
right.
And the smaller schools around here, they don't want to play us. So then you talk about, we're in Wilmington. All the Fayetteville schools take care of Fayetteville. Raleigh takes care of Raleigh. Charlotte takes care of Charlotte, and so you can't find games. Right now we open with Hope County next year, week 1. Then we got South Florence again, week 2. Then we have Havelock, week 3, and Scotland County, week 4. So looking ahead into next year, I mean, we could be over and be one of the best small 4A teams in the state of North Carolina. But it's to the point nobody will play us.
Okay. Let's take a look at Friday. Obviously, home game, Wilson Hunt. They always say there's a big difference between week 1 and
Yes,
week 2.
yeah.
But it's a special night too.
That's right.
For somebody that's meant not only a lot to New Hanover, but all of high school football.
And that's, some of the parents would get upset. That's more important than the game. The game of football is exactly that. It's a game. It's about lessons. Coach Miller, love him or hate him, there was no in between. And the people that knew Coach, but what he did for New Hanover County, a lot of times he gets thrown under with just New Hanover High School, but what he did for sports, not just football, but all athletics in this county, for coaches, is just second to none. I mean, he had a passion and a love for kids and love for athletics, and we honored him at our luau last year, and it was one of those things, and I thank the Lord that we did that, because we think Coach is going to be with us for a long time. And looking back at that now, it's kind of like talking to Coach Underwood beforehand with Coach Braswell. Time is so short and life's so precious that looking at what Coach is going through, and that's more important in the game of football. It's more important than Hoggard and New Hanover. And honoring Miss Phyllis and Shannon and Jake and his sons and the family and all those people that love Coach Miller, that's bigger than the game of football.
Okay, and then that's this Friday.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there about 10 after 7, you think?
Yes, sir. It'll be before the game. We'll get started around 7:10 with honoring Coach Miller, and then kick off at 7:30.
Legion Stadium, Friday night, 7:30. Home opener for New Hanover, and we'll continue on right after this. Welcome back to the program. Let's swing on over to Laney and first-year head coach Ashad Yeoman. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about, you're almost in the same situation that Kevin was in last week. You play an opponent that already had a game under your belt, and I guess after your forfeit against Pender, all of a sudden you're going up there, you're playing week 1, they're kind of playing week 2. Talk a little bit about how your kids reacted to that.
Oh, they did a great job. We, missed that game, so we didn't get, substitutions and all that stuff, that game mode, working out all the little kinks in the game plan. But I feel like the kids did a great job getting off the bus and handling business.
Okay. You go to Rose, always a difficult place to play. They come back, win the game, but you could jump out to that quick lead. Talk a little bit about were your kids surprised at that? Because you've got a lot of young kids in new positions, in a new experience, in a very difficult place to play.
To me, no, it wasn't surprising at all. The kids do a great job Monday through Thursday, and that preparation helps us on Friday nights. The execution was there in that first half. We had some things that go wrong in the second half, but overall, man, I'm just ecstatic about the team that we have, and hopefully they can see the success that we can have at Laney High School.
Good stuff. We'll take a look at some highlights then if we can. Laney on the road against Greenville Rose, and as you mentioned, you're pleased with just the whole way the team carried itself.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on defense is just getting to the football. As you can see, we had a nice turnover. We had our linebacker, Christian Cox, come in with the fumble. One of our kids recovered it, and gives us an opportunity to have plays like that where we can recover fumbles if we get them by checking into the football. So that's one thing we take pride in.
Spurt them out?
Yep. Trying to get them guys out there to the front a little bit, trying to mix it up. Great pass by Tyreek Lane to Amik Watkins. He did a great job setting up his blocks. Great job by Kubler, Jonathan Kubler, and Ryan Williams getting the block on the edge. This is a big run here. Our O-line did an excellent job all night long. That's one thing that we take pride in is road graders. That's what I call my offensive line. They do a great job getting off the ball and driving guys off the field. Great run here by Meek Watkins. Great block by Jamas Beckett. Good fake, and then great finish. This is our first score of the ball game here. Again, great job with his pad level, punching it in there. All his boys, brothers celebrating with him. That's one thing we want to try to build is that family atmosphere. It's not about the kid himself, it's about the team. And that's one thing we take pride in. That was good stuff there by, if I'm not mistaken, Darian Hines, one of our senior defensive tackles there.
In this day where everybody spreads it out, it still comes down to how you're playing up front, though, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The game is won in the trenches. One thing we try to take pride in is fundamentals of the game. We can get fancy with all this scheme stuff, but if you can't block, if you can't tackle, it doesn't look very good. And so we try to work on those little things and make sure that we are fundamentally sound as a football team.
Now, you've got a number of new guys in new positions. How's that transition go?
Oh, it's been great. Like I said, the kids have been buying in since day one. They're hungry, they're excited. Even though things didn't turn out the way we wanted to, hopefully they see, the results and the preparation is there. And all we need is fine tuning here and there, and we can do some great things at Laney High School. This is a kickoff return by Tariq Lane. Great job up front, great reads. He doesn't get touched, if I'm not mistaken, until right around the 20 or the 30 by his own guy. So, that was a great run and great execution on the front end. Again, it's three parts of the game. We want to try to take pride in our special teams. That's Justin Billingsley hooking up Tariq Lane. Again, great execution, pitching and catching. It's one thing that we try to do all week long. Got to roll out in the pocket. Good scramble by Lane. Didn't see anything downfield and just driving guys, and that's great effort by him. To drive in the end zone, that's that hunger, that's that fire.
And you can see where he's developed with that.
Oh,
he sees
yes,
the field better.
yes, he sure does. And just that the fight that he has inside him, and then that's just a freshman there. That's Kenwan Watkins there with the tip drill, getting out of bounds. That's a smart play there by just a freshman. He's been doing a great job there. He's got the eye of the tiger. A lot of fighting. Again, great execution. That's Jacob Stowe there, coming back to the ball. Lane, throwing it a little bit behind so he doesn't throw into coverage, protecting his own guy. So, again, that was just great execution from the offense. Again, Justin Billingsley here, setting us up for the go-ahead score. If I'm not mistaken, it was 7-7 at this point, and we're driving late. Again, we had some penalties there that drove us back. Great focus by the kids and great execution again.
Good throw into the corner.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the positives coming out of Greenville Rose as you carry it on to your game this week, because you're playing enough. You're going to Clinton. It doesn't get much easier.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Those guys are a very physical football team on both sides of the ball. Great offensive line. Those guys get after you pretty well. And the same for the defense. They also check in. They swarmed the ball carrier. It's going to be a tough matchup and one we look forward to. We love those challenges.
Just the dynamics within the program. New coach, your own philosophy.
Yes,
you've got some new kids. You've got some kids that have been there before. How's that all coming together for you?
It's coming together really well. A lot of coaches, we all have the same ideals, the same goals, aspirations. It's just about how we go about executing our game plan. We just have those different personalities and the way we carry ourselves. And the kids have done a great job.
To come home from Clinton with a victory Friday, what's the key?
Again, it's all in the trenches. If we can control the line of scrimmage up front with our offensive line, with our defensive line, I feel like we can do some great things.
Okay. Good luck Friday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Laney and Clinton this coming Friday night, 7:30 kickoff. And we'll continue on when we come right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Let's swing down to Ashley High School and head coach Mike Probst. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about, you were part of the staff last year. Now you're the head coach. Talk a little bit about what you'd like Ashley football to be and You've changed offenses. What's general philosophy?
Hard-nosed football, tough, hard-nosed football. I've always said I wanted a referee after a game coming to me and say, Coach, your guys played so hard. And I think that's the greatest compliment you could get about your program. And that's a simple thing, but we want folks to know that we're going to play real hard every Friday night.
Okay. Big difference between week 1 and week 2 for you.
Huge difference for us, and we're still working and building. You know, we're a work in progress. First week we had silly penalties like false starts, delay game, things like that. Didn't have any of that this past Friday, so that's a step in the right direction. We actually look like a football team, and just not a bunch of kids with uniforms on like we did against Hoke. And so that some major progress from week 1 to week 2.
You're a very young team because, Coach, even when you take a look at if somebody says, well, there's 12 seniors, that's not necessarily 12 seniors that saw a lot of time last year.
Right. Most of our seniors have not played a lot of high school football on Friday night, and so we've got a very inexperienced team, and we've got to learn as we go. And we're doing that as a staff. It's basically a whole new staff. It's a veteran staff. I was able to bring in 3 coaches who are my guys, which I think is very important. They are veteran coaches, and so that's a big help for us. So we're going to try to help coach these kids up and put them in the right spots, and so they can find some success on Fridays.
Before we hit the highlights, I know one of your things you're doing early is you're trying to play 2 platoon. You're trying to keep those numbers of those guys that are going both ways to a bare minimum. Right, and that, I feel like to build a program like a Hoggard or a Hanover or Laney, and we got great competition here, and those guys do a great job. And I feel like we got a 2 platoon. I think it's important because it makes moms happy, because there's 22 moms who have their little boy out there playing on Friday night instead of just 12 guys or 11 guys or 15. And so I think that makes folks happy, and it makes the players feel invest, I think, in their position. And of course the coaches do that by coaching their position and take ownership of that. Okay, and your numbers are up.
Yes.
We've got a number of kids playing JV too.
Right. We have over 60 JVs playing, and we 2 platoon with them also, obviously. And again, we're trying to build that program from the bottom up. We've reached out to the Pop Warner kids and the Murray and Myrtle Grove and their football staffs and their kids to welcome them to our stadium and make sure that we have a connection there to Ashley, because Ashley hasn't had a whole lot of success in football, obviously in the last, since it's been in existence. So we want to change that, and we're going to change that. But I feel like to do that, you've got to build a program to do that, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, let's take a look at some tape then. Home game against Swansboro, 24-7 the final, but really not indicative of how the game played.
No, we defensively we did a great job. The only problem is we were on the field 73 plays, and here you can see our guys coming up, crowding the ball. Number 14 for Swansboro was a heck of a player, very good. Got several D1 scholarship offers, and of course. We were able to contain him somewhat, which was a big deal for us. And most of our highlights here are all, like I said, defensive highlights, because we did play well. And the bad thing is we gave them a short field. We had 5 turnovers. 3 of those 5 turnovers led to 3 of their scores. Okay. So that was tough on us. But right here was a great run by Swansboro. Of course, we jump on the ball and recover it. Here's a nice play by one of our sophomore linebackers. Made a nice play there. He's happy. We're happy too for him. And offensively, you can see we're in the I, and we run a pro I style offense. We do run some spread. Here was in the second half, first series of the second half. We swing the ball out to our running back, a little bubble route. They'd been giving that to us. We finally connect on it. Makes a nice run. Puts us down in the red zone. And again, we will run some spread. I like to run the spread down in the red zone where we're at here so people don't stack up inside on us because of our lack of speed. If we can get people spread out a little bit, that will help us. This is our backup quarterback here. We're playing him a little bit. We have his own package, Travis Lamb. He's a good little player. Again, another 10th grader, and he also returns kicks for us. And here we just wedge it in for our touchdown, our lone score of the game.
Building confidence, building the program.
Right,
step
absolutely.
at a time?
Yes, sir, absolutely. And the thing is, as coaches, we have to figure out what step to take. And this is my 25th year, 15 years as a head coach. I've been at programs before, a lot worse off than Asheville High School in terms of football. And we were able to turn those things around, and with a good staff. And that's the one thing, I've got a great staff, and I'm real proud of those guys. And they're very experienced coaches, and we got the guys in the right place. Now it's just keep grinding, keep working, and we'll get this thing right.
Fairmont home this week.
Yes, Fairmont at home. Very athletic team. Not big in numbers. 25, 26 players. All of them look the same. 6'1" that can run. And so we're going to have a tough time with those guys. We're counting on playing at home. And we've had success the last 3 years against Fairmont. We've beaten them 2 out of the last 3 years since I've been here as an assistant. So, the kids feel confident that we can play with them. Of course, we're going to try to build on the strides we made this past week for this coming week and try to get us a win.
I was about to say, what's the next big step? What's the step for week 3?
Well, we want to win a football game, and that's a simple thing, but that's something that we preach to the kids all the time: is be a winner. And we keep score on Friday night for a reason. And you have a winner and a loser that walk off the field. So we want to win a football game and play well as we do it.
Ashley at home this coming Friday night, 7:30 kickoff against Fairmont. When we come back, we'll look at the Hoggard Vikings. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Let's swing over to Hoggard High School. The Vikings are out of the gate 2-0. Coach Craig Underwood alongside, and welcome aboard. And I guess before we get to football, good news: Scott's on the road to recovery.
Yeah, Scott's had his he's had his surgery and everything went well, so he is on his way to recovery. And talked to him. He's anxious to get back on the sidelines as soon as he can. So, it's just it's a waiting game to see when he's going to be physically able, but. He's cancer-free, and everything's going well so far.
That's dynamite. That's dynamite. And again, I know as a staff, you guys are pleased with how the team is going so far. 2-0. We'll hit the highlights, and it starts with South Columbus at home.
Right. We had to play South Columbus on a Monday night. We had a little lightning delay, so a Monday night play. Here you can see Kevin Thompson ripping off one of several pretty big runs. He's finally 100%. Been banged up for about 2 years, so he's 100% running behind largely a senior offensive line. We've been excited. So our defense has had 2 outstanding games so far. Here you can see that's Jeremiah Andrews coming off the edge, making a big play, tackle for loss or sack there.
You mentioned the seniors on the offensive line. That's got to help going into it.
I'll tell you, we've got Sylvester Smith at guard and Clay David and Cooper Booth at tackle. Those 3 guys have started for a while. Sam Stevens, another guard. They've been starting from us 2 years now, and that's been great. And they had a big year in the weight room too. So we got some horses up there. And you see Kevin again, just breaking tackles. He's a special runner, very physical. That's Julius Reynolds, and again Jeremiah Andrews coming through the middle there, a little middle stunt, and another big tackle for loss. Julius, senior captain, middle linebacker, he's had an outstanding 2 games so far. So.
And you've got some good vocal leaders on that defense.
We really do. We've had 3 guys, Hashim Michelle at defensive end, Robert Pickford at free safety, and then Julius Reynolds.
Special teams for Hoggard again.
Oh, yeah. That's a block punt for a touchdown. Always just a huge emphasis on special teams. I'm the special teams coordinator, so love to get those guys.
Talk a little. You guys spend a lot of time on special teams.
Oh, we really do. We feel like it's a big point of emphasis. It can be a game changer, and in 2 games we forced 2 turnovers. That one for a touchdown, and you'll see against Conway, we forced a fumble on a kickoff that led to a touchdown. So we think it's important. So got to make time for it. You can see another run by Kevin. What a massive hole, too. Again, back to that offensive line. Tristan Candare, our H-back, he's a junior, and he's really doing an outstanding job for us, just helping to open those holes. Here's one. You see Kevin just gets bottled up. Looks like he's going down. His jersey actually ripped about all the way off on that play, and he still managed to come out of the pile. I think he broke about 7 tackles on that play. So.
And again, just having health early in the year is going to be so huge for these guys.
Oh, yeah. There you see Julius Reynolds coming through the middle. That looked like a Mike A. blitz, but was not. He just stunted there.
Okay, now we go to South Carolina.
Yeah, this is against Conway. Probably not a good thing that we're starting with special teams right away with the punt team. We started very slow offensively. But here you can see Hinton Carter, our punter, getting out just an awesome punt. He's been helping us with field position. He averaged almost 40 yards a punt the other night, so that helped him flip the field.
Like Hanover, you go to South Carolina to play a non-conference game. Why is that good for your program?
Well, I'll tell you, just the competition down there. They get spring practice. This is the 2nd year we played in that clash Last year we played Irmo. This year we played Conway. And I mean, just the competition level is really good. The atmosphere, as Coach Motzinger mentioned, you know, just a big-time atmosphere. So the kids get really up for it. I mean, they love it. And I think competition-wise, it's really beneficial to get ready for the playoffs. Here you can see Hashim Michelle right here getting a sack. A couple guys joined him late. Really emphasize gang tackling on our defense.
Now, in a game like this where it ended up 21-7, every possession, unlike the first week, every possession really meant a lot as far as both sides of the ball.
No doubt about it. Definitely a lot more pressure this week as we go. We went down 7-0. We come back. I believe this is actually getting into our touchdown drive here. We scored 2 quick touchdowns right before the half to go up 14-7. We were trailing up into 3 minutes left in the first half, down 7-0. And then we came back and took the lead, and then came back through and punched one in the second half. So it was a battle, though. Every possession counted, no doubt about it.
So for a staff, that's kind of good for you to see how your team reacts to that early adversity.
That's exactly what we talked about as a staff. Coach Turner, Coach Demick, and our other coaches, you know, we all try to emphasize, you know, just responding. I mean, adversity's going to happen. You know, how are you going to respond? And the kids just did an amazing job of, you know, just hanging in here, battling. This is a play, if you watch from the beginning, Jeremiah actually fell down, got back up, and still finished with a sack. So, you know, effort plays, the kids really stepping up.
And we'll see it very shortly. The fact that you were able to close strong by driving the football instead of that big play, that has to help your development.
No doubt about it. The offensive line really just taking over in the fourth quarter with a huge drive. Here you see a little tunnel screen. Harrison Smith does an outstanding job for us at wideout, going and getting a touchdown there. And then that last drive, it was 90 yards of just running, you know, your basic ISO and power plays just right down the field. So.
And mentally, what that does to the opposition when they can't get off the field.
It's a good feeling for us, but
Sure.
I've been on the other side of it too, and it's a bad feeling on the other side when you just can't seem to stop them from pounding you. You know.
Okay, so you go to South Carolina last week. Right. Now you go to Purnell Sweat this week. Back-to-back challenges.
Yes, two bus trips in a row. Hopefully we learned the lesson. We were a little slow starting against Conway. I think the kids really, you know, took that away from the game as, you know, we've got to respond better, and or we got to get off the bus better, I should say. And I think they're ready. We had a great Labor Day practice, so hopefully they come in today ready to go, and you know, we're ready for that challenge to go up the road again.
Okay, Hoggard goes for their 3rd win of the young year. Again, Hoggard and Laney on the road. Ashley, Hanover at home this week. Support area high school football. And we'll see you here next Tuesday night on Sports Roundtable. Good night, everybody.